we are going to be heading into the big tariff announcement, something that the markets have been edgy about for the last 1 to 2 months odd. This date was known, and finally we are actually sitting on the D-Day. Tonight, when the announcements come in, the world will be on the edge. Not just the Indian equities, but global markets will also be looking at each and every word that comes out from the press conference tonight. What is it that you are expecting as an investor of the Indian markets from what will be announced today, and does it really have a big bearing on how the trajectory will be shaped up?
Yeah, thank you for having me on the show, Sakshi. Yeah, I think it will be a bit of a challenge as to what comes out, but I think largely it will be not be very. It should not be very negative for India. Even the tone prior to these discussions have been showing that maybe India will rationalize some of the tariffs, and there is a high probability that US also obliges by not being too harsh. The focus could largely be on the larger partners, Canada, Mexico, China could be the major brand bearers of this whole thing. Maybe some bit of impact on Japan, Korea, and some impact on Germany, directly, indirectly because of the auto tariffs, etc. But I think directly now from the earlier tone that we were listening on tariffs, it's come down substantially. And I think today when the final announcements are to be made, I think it should be a softer landing for countries like India, etc., or some other countries which have good relations with the US. And as such, we don't have such a large bill difference that would create a material impact to the trade deficit number also. So I think the larger focus will be on countries like Canada, Mexico, China, Japan. Not so much of an impact on India. Individually, yeah, I think some sectors might get impacted, but I don't think it will be a very material dampener. I think the market is too nervous about this thing, and there's been some correction because of that. So I believe markets are already apprehensive. Ideally, if what I'm expecting that transpires, we could see some kind of relief rally for Indian markets.
Okay, so in case one has to gauge, the sectors that are probably vulnerable in India that might come under the radar, what could those sectors be, sir, and what would your approach be there? We've been hearing about talks on auto space, on pharma space, metals, agri. How are you navigating through these specific sectors? Somebody who has a long-term vision in their portfolio and has an exposure to these kind of sectors, what are the risk factors for a knee-jerk reaction, sir?
Metals, yeah, certainly they could see some reaction because they have recovered a bit from the lows recently. Autos, I think Tata Motors is bearing the sole brunt of the major issue that they will have. There were some expectations of some impact, on some Vardhan Motherson, but the company came out clearly saying that maybe it will not be as material as the market is thinking it to be. So I think largely where I think most of the impact would be absorbed could be, the beverage stocks. I think the valuations there are not very comfortable also, usually on the higher side, but I think in the current run up also because of the improvement that we are seeing at the domestic level, I think that is one area, breweries, distilleries, so beverages, I think that is one area that could be hit hard. Pharma, some pockets could be hit, but I don't think it's an across the board hit that you would look at. And since most of them have corrected a bit over the last 3 to 4 months, I don't think there's scope for much correction there. So on balance, I think maybe autos and breweries, but autos largely, I think Tata Motors taken the hit, whatever that could come from there. The JLR part of the business could get impacted because for UK, etc., I think US is a big trade partner in terms of car exports. So that is an area where there could be some impact. And the brewery sector, I think that could have some impact. Metals might have some impact because the valuations are fair and square. So, once selling comes in, it could deepen a bit. But other than that, I don't think agri, etc., there would be any material impact on these stocks.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.